what's going on, everybody? It's your girl Pam with 2200 Tabs. Yo, my next guest, let me just put it this way. I'm jumping right into it. My next guest is probably one of the coolest women I've ever met, person I've ever met. And it was by chance that I actually met her because I got shit canned out of my job and immediately took a dive back into ATF, into the gym, just to kind of get my head on straight and stuff. And my next guest was the athlete I was paired with, and we've been stuck like glue ever since. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to the former Miss Waco. I feel like I'm like the biggest celebrity right now. Jamie Blanek. How are you, my friend?
Oh my God. Thanks for that intro.
I'm telling you.
I'm good. Great.
I'll butter you up all day.
Yay.
Yay. And for those that can't see, I'm going to put this YouTube and this video on YouTube and some of these clips and stuff. And let me see how creative I get with this. But yeah, if you want to see Jamie's pretty face, it'll be on YouTube. So again, thanks Jamie for joining us. I know we have time is precious, and I appreciate you and all my guests as always for giving us your time. So thank you.
Oh my God. No, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but right here with you. So thank you.
Of course. Well, I want to jump into this. Us Texans and us locals might know you for who you are. Former Miss Waco, some pretty cool, amazing things that have happened to you in your life, and we'll get into like the really cool stuff that's been happening here lately down further in the podcast. But what I want to really jump in on is kind of tell us about yourself, my listeners. And for those that don't know, Jamie's got one hell of a story, and that's the whole reason she's on. And your mom said something else, and remind me to say it. Your mom said something in a video that she was interviewed on about you. It was so compelling, and it just like, it almost took my breath away. Just this one little thing she said about you after your with your injury. And I'm like, wow, that's wow. So, when we talk about your story, I'll chime in and let you know what she said, but,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued now.
It was
about what my mom said.
It was very, very cool. I just can't imagine being a parent saying that about your kid. So, if you could tell our listeners a little bit about you, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Well, hello, I'm Jamie. I'm a Texan. I'm from Waco, born and raised, and I grew up in my family business. My parents had a restaurant and a catering company. So, I was very social for most of my life. And I was also into the performing arts. And so I was a dancer my whole life, an actor, singing, all that fun stuff. And so from that, I went to school in New York City for college. And I lived there for a few years, and then came back to Waco, to Texas, and I worked with my parents and ran our company. I was Miss Waco during that time. I did pageants. That was a lot of fun. So I was always super active in the community. I did all kinds of things, rescued animals. Man, I was up for anything.
And that's a good little segue, because I've learned to really love your heart and your passion and just the kind of person you are to just want to help people. Good, bad, or indifferent. Like you're there. Shit, you almost like saved my ass trying to fight that guy with when I was getting my oil changed. That's the Jamie, guys. That's the Jamie I was talking about. This is her. So yeah, if y'all want to hear what happened, go check the episode before this. I think that's what it was. But your heart to help people and love people actually landed you to one of the biggest traumas, if not the biggest trauma in your life. And if you could kind of walk us through that, because we met at the Adaptive Training Foundation literally shortly after your injury, with like 6-7 months. You weren't that far out.
Yeah. No.
And for those that don't know, you are a above the knee amputee. We call them AKs. Which I've heard, if you're going to have a leg amputation, above the knee is probably the worst one that you could possibly have, just for like knee bending purposes and mobility purposes. So yeah, if you could walk.
worst would be like losing both legs,
Both.
I guess. Yeah.
Or going higher,
Yeah.
like in the hip or something.
Yeah. If you can't use a prosthetic, that's definitely harder. Or if you don't have legs to walk, that's definitely a lot.
Jeez.
As
Well,
you see now with Jackson.
yeah. Yeah, one of our athletes, he's learning how to walk on. He had stubbies with both his legs, and now he's on the big,
Uh-huh.
tall legs.
Yeah.
It's
He's super tall.
he's like
He's
six
in his
two,
prosthetics. He's like super tall.
super
So,
tall. But
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing just to see what y'all go through as independent, amputated athletes or athletes with amputations. It's nuts. But your accident happened. Could you, I mean, take us as deep as you want to go, as far as you want to go? I'm going to ask some questions throughout, but
Yeah.
what ultimately happened that led you to where you are now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So in February of 2021, it was February 6th. It was a Saturday and I had been to a friend's baby shower. And then I went to work, just stopped by there. And my family was at my brother's house and they were like doing a family project. And I was like, oh, I'll go, say hello. I wanted to go to the gym later that day. And, I had like plans, but I decided to go see my family. And I got there and they were like, oh, we're about to have dinner. Do you want to eat with us? And I was like, yeah, sure. Wasn't planning on doing that. So I ate with them and then it was getting late and my dad left and then I left and my mom left right behind me. And to get from my brother's house to my house, we take this backcountry highway and, I don't remember anything past like going past this one light that's on the highway. And so everything else I've been told. But I apparently came upon or saw a really bad accident. And I immediately got out of my car. And I went to this Jeep. It had rolled several times. It had hit a car that pulled out in front of it. And so it hit the car and then rolled. And I got to the car and there were two small girls in the back of the Jeep. They were screaming, they were crying, and I was helping them. I do have one memory that's like a full memory that came to me the second week in the hospital. And it was of me talking to these girls and telling them my name, asking them their names, telling them I was going to be okay. Just trying to calm them down. And that's my only memory. So while I was helping them, they were out of their car seats, like trying to get out of the car. And so I put them back in their car seats and I was telling them they needed to stay in the car seats because for whatever reason, I thought like that would be the safest thing. Right. I was moving around the vehicle. A car came down the highway and just slammed into the Jeep. And because I was in front of the Jeep hit me. I had a traumatic amputation. That's the medical term for what happened. I lost my leg on impact above the knee. It was below the knee in the beginning, and I didn't really have much left to work with. So surgically, I became an above the knee, which is so crazy. You never think like you're going to be disabled, right? Like you never think anything can happen. And whenever people heard what I was doing and how I had become injured, they were like, it's so dangerous. Why would she do that? And my answer when people say, why did you get out of the car is, I mean, that's like just what I do. That's who I am as a person. Like you're either a person who runs towards the fire, like you get out and you go do something, or you just sit there and don't do anything.
Right.
And I'm a person who does something. I never thought about my safety, myself. Like I didn't think about that. I was just focused on helping these people, these complete strangers. So fortunately for me, the only other person that had gotten out of a car to help render aid, his name is Scott. He happens to be an off-duty fireman, EMT. He has medical training, and he came to me immediately, and he saved my life. He like called 911, demanded a helicopter because I was bleeding out. Like time was very crucial here, and he knew that. And so he demanded a helicopter, and he kept me alert. He kept me awake. And I credit him with like me even sitting here today for sure. The hard part for me is, like I said, I'd just been at my family's and I left and my mom left behind me. My mom was in the vehicle behind me. So she came up a little after me. And from what I know, from what she said, she was getting out of her car and she saw the car coming down the highway and she was screaming for this car to slow down. She was screaming and she watched impact. And after I was hit, like she came around the Jeep to wherever my body landed. And she went to Scott and she was like, "This is my daughter." And he just looked at my mom and he was like, "This is your daughter?" And she said, "Yes, this is my daughter." And from there, the two of them just like, went into action. Because like I said, they knew time was not on my side. Let's see. So I was care flighted out of town to a level 1 trauma hospital. My injuries were severe, obviously. I'd lost my leg, so I was bleeding out there. My whole left leg was shattered. I broke my ankle. I shattered my tibia, fibula. I had multiple compound fractures. And then my femur was broken.
God damn.
I broke my pelvis. I had tons of road rash. My face was just beaten. But with all of that, the real concern was my head injury. So I had a skull fracture and multiple brain bleeds. So that's really what they were like concerned with, was my head injury. So I was flown to the hospital and then immediately went into surgeries. I've been told I was conscious the entire time. I was conscious when I was on the ground. I was conscious when they put me in the ambulance. I was conscious when I was on the helicopter. I was conscious in the ER. And I was even talking as they rolled me into the OR. So like through this whole thing, everyone who was like a part of it was just like baffled at the fact that first off, I was alive and I had suffered all these injuries, but that I was like speaking and coherent. They're like, "Why is this girl not like passed out? This poor girl." But I was awake. And I don't remember any. I'm so fortunate that I don't remember because it's terrible.
Well, kind of. Oh my God. So, like, kind of backtracking to when you said your mom and Scott were there helping you.
Yeah.
What I was going to tell you that your mom said in the interview, she said that you had a pool of blood going out down into the ditch or wherever it was going, and she said it was like every time she was winning, she was losing.
Yeah.
Because every time you took a breath, that you. And I was like, "Holy, that is like the most profound and wild thing I've ever heard anybody say, let alone a parent, about their kid."
I mean, you want them to be alive, but like with every heartbeat, it was pumping blood out of my body.
That's nuts.
And winning and losing at the same time.
That is nuts. Well, damn. So getting back to you in the hospital, when you started coming out of it, you started working again, you said. Because you can't slow down, it seems, but...
Oh, no. Let's see. So I was in the ICU for 5 days and then transferred to a trauma floor. And I was in the hospital for another 2 weeks. So while I was there, snowpocalypse happened,
Oh, jeez.
and the whole of Texas like
Shut
froze.
down.
So
Yeah.
we were frozen into the hospital. So my mom was actually not even able to get to the hotel across the street that she was supposed to stay at
Wow.
because there were no cars. She didn't have her car. And you like couldn't walk outside because you would slip and fall. So she was frozen in and she slept in my room on the couch, which I'm super grateful for. But because of that, we had all of these events that I'm the only one who knew all this information for, because I'm running our family business. And so I'm like, trying to remember things, and we're talking to clients. And I mean, the world keeps going, right?
Mhm.
Like my world may have just been like halted, but everyone else's is still going.
Yeah.
And working helped me. It helped me to like realize, things are going to be okay. Like not everything is over. And in speaking with people, they were just like so kind. I would call people and ask them about their event, and they'd be like, "What are you doing, Jamie? Like, are are you kidding? Like, is this really Jamie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's me. Can we just talk about what you want for your
Aw.
catering?" So it was nice, but like, yeah, my world didn't end
Yeah.
just because I lost my leg. I still had a job to do.
Oh my God. That's so wild, man, that you're just like, well, I'm gonna get back to it. The level of commitment that you had to the family business and most of all your clients to make sure.
Mhm.
I mean, thank God you were still here, number one, but number two, you're here to help them still. Is That's nuts, Jamie. You're freaking crazy. I
Well,
love
we were
that.
super fortunate with the fact that there was the snowpocalypse because
Mhm.
um, my accident was February 6th, and then the next weekend was Valentine's. And so we had tons of Valentine's weddings.
Mhm.
We had like 3 or 4 weddings on that next Saturday. But because like Texas was shut down, um, we didn't have them. Like they were pushed to different dates. And so it was kind of a blessing for sure because my mom obviously couldn't be at work and with me. So it was my mom says that God sent the snowpocalypse so that she could be with me in the hospital.
Oh my God. So you were in the hospital when we shut down when we were
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I couldn't leave the hospital until it was like safe because you roads. And I couldn't
Yeah.
see anything. I was like stuck in this bed and I had a window, but I could see like the tops of buildings and everyone was like talking about how cold it was and what the weather was. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in the outside world.
It
It
was
was so weird.
it was so bad. Like I never lost power, but I lost my water. And I ended up when ATF opened back up, I went to go take a shower. And then I got water that day. I was like, "Oh
Oh,
my God, this sucks so bad."
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I was probably in the safest place possible. Like
Yeah.
we were going to lose power because we're a hospital. They did tell us we needed to like ration water there towards the end,
Mhm.
but I wasn't like taking a bath or anything anyway. But we did have issues with food, like food
Wow.
delivery trucks come to bring food to the hospital and like they would slide off the road. And so then I
Oh
would
my
get a call to
God.
my room. They'd be like, Jamie, the food is in the ditch.
Oh my
So
God.
do you want a grilled cheese again? And I'm like,
I'm like,
yes,
yeah, it's
yes,
fine. Oh
whatever.
my
I don't care.
God.
Give me the medicine. I don't care.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about how did you hear about ATF, the Adaptive Training Foundation? How did you land there?
Yeah. So after my accident, I didn't know any amputees.
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about being disabled. And so I turned to social media. And I would like take this dive down the rabbit hole of Instagram and find like amputees and disabled people. And through that search of trying to learn information, I came across ATF and I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. These people are doing amazing. Like, this is awesome. And so I was following the class before my class. So I guess class 21.
Mm-hmm.
I was following their whole 9 weeks. And within that time, I got a message from Campbell, who works at ATF. We have mutual friends. And one of our mutual friends had told him about me. She knew that he worked there and she knew what happened to me. And so she passed my name on to him and he slid in my DMs. And I was like, oh my God, why is he reaching out to me? Like, I'm in a wheelchair. I don't have a leg. Like, I'm not an athlete. Like, I can't even walk.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, 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 no. You have to apply. Like, you just have to apply. And I was like, okay. And so I did. I applied and I talked to him. I talked to Mo. I went to the gym for some of the sweatiest hours. I met the class. And all of this is like me in my wheelchair without a leg. And I just loved it. Like, the energy of the gym, the people in there, it's incredible. And I knew it was a place that I wanted to be. And then when I was accepted into the class, I was like, oh my God, I really need to learn how to walk because these people go hard.
Yeah.
And so I did everything that I could. Like 3 days after I got out of the hospital, I was in the gym, working out, like trying to get myself back into my routine and back into shape. And so being accepted into the just like transformative for me. I was so excited. I don't know that I've been as excited for anything in my life as I was like on the first day of ATF. Like, it brings such a smile to my face because the energy there, it's like incredible. I love it. I love ATF. Like, it is my home now.
It's a healthy
and I met you
addiction.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We met there and thank God I had you. I learned a lot from you and with you and it was super cool. I'll tell you that. So watching you transform and literally we carried you on our backs a couple times and you know. You have to take the guys. I don't know if y'all understand unless you deal with amputations. Like, when you guys have your legs on and you guys are working out, you guys sweat like profusely. Yeah. They sweat in their liner, like their rubber liner, and it's nasty. I'm just gonna I'm immune to it, but it gets pretty. I've seen people pour some like water.
It's super gross. So gross. And it's not something like if I search on the internet, I never came across, you will sweat a ton in your liner. But yeah, it's really gross. It's uncomfortable. And so, we did a lot of my workouts with my leg off because it was faster than me, like wiping out my liner, wiping out my leg, putting my leg back on, blah, blah, blah. And y'all had to carry.
And we had to carry you. And it made it quicker. And then we, during your class, you went from Lisa and Jamie, your trainers, to Luke.
I went to Luke. Yes, I had. Yeah.
Yeah, she had Luke Milton. We've had him on the podcast, but he was Khloe Kardashian's celebrity trainer. Shout out to Luke. We love him.
Yes, Luke.
If you guys if you go to stories and go to like the GIFs or GIFs or whatever the hell that's called and type in like Luke Milton, you'll see him like doing funny stuff. Yeah. So he's
doing his thing. Yeah.
But he's such a good dude. We love him. And he challenged you a lot. And that was really cool to see that. And brought out the boxing gloves. What was that like for you
Yeah.
to train with so many different head trainers? What was that like for you?
Yeah. It was super cool because I've been an athlete my whole life. And you get used to like how you do things. And that's, the routine I was in before my accident was how I work out and what I want to do and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So then when you're thrown into someone else telling you what to do, it's like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, first off, I'm trying to figure out how to be like an athlete with one leg, a disabled athlete now, and like figure out like what you want me to do and why you want me to do it and like what it's doing for me. And so it was so cool just like getting a little bit of everyone's expertise, because like Lisa, she did CrossFit. That was her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I did things that I'd never done before, like not even as an able-bodied person had I done some of that stuff. So it was really cool. And then with Luke, it was like lightning speed, but amazing. Like I'm pretty sure I burned 1 billion calories each workout with Luke. Because he would just be like, oh, okay, 10 more, 10 more, okay, 90 more. And you're like, ah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He would count down to 0 and he's like, all right, 20 more. And you're like, what?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm dying. Look, I'm
I
dying.
hate you.
It was good. It was good.
So funny, man. Oh, and then you guys, where did you go for your class trip after you graduated? Where'd you go again?
So our redeploy was in Park City, Utah.
That's right. Even better, because that's even a better segue, because that's where you got connected to, what's the name of the organization?
The National Ability Center.
There you go. And I'll put everything down below and all the info for them. The National Ability Center, because you have a goal and had a goal even in the hospital to snowboard again. Is that correct?
Yep, that was my goal. The second day I was in the hospital, I had a conversation with my surgeon. We were about to go into 2 more surgeries. And so he was like explaining things to me, which I didn't want to hear any of it. Like I did not care whatsoever. Like, what else can you tell me? I've already lost a leg. Like, but I told him, I said, I can't live my life in a wheelchair. Like I'm very active. I go to the gym every day. I'm a dancer. I snowboard. And my mom, when I said that, she just thought I was high on the drugs, because she was like, okay. And my surgeon said, you'll be able to do all of that. Prosthetics are amazing and you'll be able to do everything. And so my goal from that moment was to snowboard again. For whatever reason, I guess God just popped it into my head. Jamie, you're going to snowboard. And so that was my goal. And so through all my training and all my rehab, it was like, I'm going to snowboard. Yeah. That's my goal. So then on our redeploy, we went to Park City, and with the National Ability Center, we were on the mountain and I snowboarded. It was awesome.
I freaking love that, dude. I love how like these, like it all fell into place for you. I've never had to like
wonder how anything was going to be taken care of. Yeah. Like anytime I needed anything, it was there. Like God has been with me throughout this entire process, giving me everything that I need, which is amazing. But yeah, the National Ability Center got me back on the snow, and I snowboarded, and they were like, you should do this competitively. And I was like, okay.
Oh. So what are you training for? You want to spill beans? What are you training for?
So now I am training for the Paralympics.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. I am training for para snowboarding. The next Paralympics are in 2026 in Italy. So I'm on this like super fast training schedule, because 4 years seems like a lot of time, but it really isn't. Yeah. So I'm just like waiting for the snow so I can get back on.
I love it. And you actually moved to Utah.
I did. I moved to Park City. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like
she's committed.
Dead set on this goal that I have, because first off, I have the athletic background.
Yeah.
Like I'm competitive through my athletic stuff and through pageants. Like I am competitive. So I know that I have like that in me
Yeah.
along with like the ability physically to do it and mentally to do it. And so I'm in the right place and I'm training and I'm so excited to see like, you know, what's going to happen because I could be very dead. And so I'm like taking this life, the second chance at life, and I'm like doing the most that I can. So I set really, really high goals for myself.
I love that. You inspire me because there's times I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's do it. So it's
Yeah. I'm a
pretty dope.
yes person. I
Mhm.
say yes to everything because you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like good or bad. And so life is about the experiences. And I also hope that through me doing all of these like crazy things, like snowboarding, the Spartans, wakeboarding, like everything that I do, I hope that people can like see me and see themselves in my trauma and be like, well, if she's doing that, I can do
Hmm.
like whatever. Um, so hopefully, like by using myself as an example, people are motivated and inspired to like go do something with their lives
Yeah.
and for themselves.
I love that. And speaking of Spartans, we're gonna be doing one in October together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
And
Are
if
you ready?
I don't know. I have no idea. We'll find out.
Oh
My
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 God.
endurance is good, but my body likes to shut down. But it's only a
Yeah,
5K, so it shouldn't be too bad. And we're all
it'll be
gonna do it
fun.
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're
not
doing it together.
it's not like the one that you and Trayvon did in Utah, which I don't know why
Literally,
you did
I
that.
don't know why I did
Jamie's first
that.
Spartan was one of the hardest in the U.S. Like right out the gate on her prosthetic. It's freaking amazing. You wanna share what that was like? Because it just
Oh my
sounded
gosh.
horrible.
Yeah, yeah. So Trayvon's like, "Hey, I'm doing this Spartan right outside of Park City. Come do the Spartan." I was like, "Okay, I'll do the Spartan." And so it was on the mountain in Snow Basin. So you're already at like 8,000 feet of elevation, and 5K. That sounds easy. But at the starting point, this guy's there on the microphone. He's like hyping everyone up and he's like, raise your hand if this is your first Spartan. And so there's like some of us who raise our hand and he goes, y'all are so stupid for picking this one as your first Spartan. And I was like, oh my God. And
Like, dang.
so off we went. Like they're carting people down in like gators and razors and there's people like puking on the
Is it
sides. Like
altitude
people are
sickness?
out. Yes, it's altitude because we had over 1,000 feet of elevation gain.
Oh.
Um, yeah, and you have all the obstacles like in there. The whole thing was uphill. Like none of it was downhill except the part where you had to go downhill on the rocks, and people were just like tumbling down. It was ridiculous. Like Pam, be really glad you're not doing Utah.
And that's why I say
Okay.
no to a lot of shit. Because that right there, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
it took a while. But you know what? I felt amazing afterwards. I was covered in mud. It was great. It was great. I can't wait for the next one.
my God. And with that,
I
you
like to
have,
torture myself.
yeah, you do. But with that, how many prosthetic legs do you have? You what, four, five, four?
I have my walking one, which is my everyday one. I have
Mm-hmm.
my running blade. I
Mm-hmm.
have my snowboarding leg. And then I have a different socket for mountain biking. So I have four.
She has four.
Well, I lost the socket to one of the legs when I was wake surfing. So I'm
Uh,
down a socket, not a leg.
the
I
socket.
lost someone else. Yeah.
Was it?
Did you know the story?
I don't know the story. Is that the hot pink socket?
Yeah, they're all hot pink.
They're all hot. Oh yeah, they are hot pink. That's Jamie's
They
color.
are all hot pink. So I took my socket off of my snowboarding leg when we went to go do our redeploy for the hyper class.
Yeah.
And we were with Wake for Warriors. And one of the guys, he's an above the knee amputee. He brought like all his extra legs in case anybody needed legs to surf with or whatever. And so I on one of his legs. And so I put my snowboarding socket on his leg. And when we were like surfing, at one point I fell off and I guess the leg fell off.
The whole leg?
The whole leg,
The
Pam.
whole leg is in
The
the bottom
whole
of the
leg
drink right now?
at the bottom
It's probably
of the leg. And I feel really bad.
it's probably like a fish or
I'm
something
like
down there that's loving that
so
right now.
sorry. I mean, like some old fisherman is gonna fish it out one day and be like, "What?"
Oh my god, to see the look on their face when that happens.
Yeah,
Oh my
right.
god.
Yeah. So lesson learned. Put like a flotation device on your leg or attach it to the board.
board?
I don't know, Pam. I don't
You
know.
could attach it to the board maybe. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of redefine, excuse me. For those that don't know, that's the 10-day expedited hyper ass kicking for they call it for elite athletes. So you'll have a lot of people training for like Paralympic Olympics and so forth, or
Mhm.
Olympics that are in the classes. And you were in the most recent one with
Yeah.
some amazing freaking athletes.
Oh my God,
Amazing,
I know.
amazing.
Yeah. Like legit people. Like two of them have competitions this weekend. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. Yeah. They're all awesome. Elite
Elite.
athlete.
Like
Yeah.
Nico is like probably the fastest person I've ever seen in my life, and he's got one leg.
Jesus, he's fast. Like I was just blown away when I saw him run the first time. But granted, he is on the US soccer amputee soccer team. So
Yeah.
he's a pro athlete.
Yeah. But still, like, to you, for you to be training with pro athletes says a lot about who you are as an athlete. And, given the fact that in the beginning you were like, I'm not an athlete, and to be able to change that
Yeah.
mindset or struggle from when you were an athlete to you being so limited now with your injury to
Yeah,
now, like, I would even venture to say you're more of an athlete than you were before your injury. And,
for sure. For
I mean, I don't
sure.
know,
Because
but I'm assuming.
yeah, I mean, I've dedicated my life to it, not just like a portion of my life. This is like currently my life. Because, I'm not in school anymore and I'm not like running my parents' business. So I have like the ability to focus specifically on my sport. And I think that's what's gonna like help me progress through this. And give me kind of maybe an edge because I've also been to ATF and trained with all of them and not everyone else has. So,
No, you don't want my ass doing that class. I'll probably pass. I'll probably pass out the first hour in the first day.
oh my
I'm
God.
not
Yeah,
elite, not yet.
literally it's not easy, Pam. It was definitely not easy. Like you've done the regular class, which isn't easy either.
Mm-mm.
Like, and you continue to go to the gym and work out. Like that's, you push yourself to do it,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's worth it, like we could take what happened to us and, feel sorry for ourselves and we would have good reason to literally do nothing. But we don't live in that tragedy because we have a great community and we have a great place to go and
Yeah.
we have like goals for ourselves. So I think that's important for everyone, like you have things that you want to do and you wouldn't be able to do them if you just sat at home.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to hit on too is it happened recently too during your class, where you guys were coming back to the gym from lunch or something, and you guys came across an accident, and
Oh, yeah.
and I remember you were saying, yeah, we came across the accident and went to check on them, and I'm just like, do you realize what you just did? Like, how did you that make you feel? Like, were you
Yeah.
triggered this? And you're like, I was good. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, really? That was
Like I
amazing.
said, you're either a person who like goes into action or you're not.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't change for me just because something happened one time. Yeah, granted it was really bad, but I'm still the person that's gonna help. Like, how bad would I feel if I just sat there and like watched something horrible happen to someone, and or if I just kept driving? Like that guilt would like haunt me forever, for sure.
It's just amazing because I know like there's a lot of us that still like in our own ways struggle with some stuff, and I know me, like I'm still like anticipating the day when I go back to a large body of water. I don't know how I'm going to react. I don't know like but I've done a lot of work. So I think I'm going to
Yeah.
be okay. But to see people like you and other people around me thrive, and even Travis even said it the other day because he's combat vet, lost both his legs, and he went to a rock and roll concert where they had pyro and screaming and big crowds, and
Oh yeah.
he's like, I don't let it control me. Like I can be around that. I
Yeah.
was like, damn,
Um,
okay, okay. So there's hope, is what I'm
it's
getting at.
there's definitely hope. There's always hope.
Yeah,
And you're in the right place with ATF. For like when that time comes for you to be like in big water, you can, you know, like rely on us and lean on us to like be there and support you through it. Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to be easy,
mm,
but life isn't easy. It's not guaranteed ever at any point in life that your life is going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but through all of this, I've learned you can do hard things. Like you can. Um, I never thought like I would be disabled and that I would be this disabled in this way and that I would live a fulfilling life. Like if you had asked me 2 years ago, hey, Jamie, what do you think about losing your leg? I'd be like, no, thank you. Someone else can lose their leg. I'm not, that's not for me. But here I am living this like fulfilling, beautiful life. And I've met so many amazing people, including you, um,
mm.
who literally like have made my life so much richer than I ever dreamed.
Well, right back at you. Right back at you. Oh, it's so squishy. I
I'm serious. It's like,
love it.
I hope for everyone that if something bad happens or like, I mean, trauma, everyone has their own trauma, right?
Yeah.
Mine just happens to be super visible. Like you can look at me and you can see, oh, she's been through something, but some people don't have that visible trauma. And I hope that those people and that all people know that there is hope out there. There is so much possibility and there's people who care. That is one thing that I've learned through this process is that people care. I
Mm.
had lost my faith in humanity before my accident. Like I was
Wow.
over people. I didn't care. Um, I mean, it was a big wake up call. Like literally the reason I'm alive is because people cared. People who I didn't know. They saved me and cared about me. And still I find people who come into my life and love me for this new me. And it's amazing. It really is.
I love that. I love that you just said that. You know, God's got a funny sense of humor, and sometimes his wake up
Yeah.
calls are not pretty. But
Right.
sometimes
Like
we need
God
them.
knows. I needed one. Yeah, you're right. Like needed it. Like I am a person who likes a challenge. Well,
Well, there you
God was
go.
like, here you go.
Oh my
Here's
god.
this challenge, Jamie.
My
Take
god.
this one. So I think I'm doing okay.
I'd say you're doing good. So what's next on your radar, sister? What's on the agenda?
Yeah. So next is the Spartan. So we'll be doing that together.
Mm,
And then that's the end of October. So then
yeah.
we'll move into my season, which I have to be classified. When you're a disabled athlete, you kind of have to go through this process of being like officially said that you are this level of disability and you
Okay.
can compete at this level.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to be classified in Canada from what I've heard today, possibly. Otherwise, I will be going to the Netherlands to be classified. And then once I'm classified and they say, yes, you are an above the knee amputee, I fall under the LL1 category. And that's what I will be competing in throughout my entire career as
Okay.
well, as an athlete. So I have to be classified and then I'll start back my training, train as much as possible. And then by the end of the season, my goal is to be competing. So,
I love it.
oh, and so I'll be just like racking up points and medals. Um, and then, in 4 years, Italy.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to start saving for that trip. I would totally
Duh.
go.
You gotta come. Yes.
I will.
Yes.
I've never been overseas other than the Bahamas, so I will make a commitment to do that. I will totally go to
Hey,
Italy.
I have been to Europe, so we can totally go to Italy. I'm looking forward to like whatever the future holds.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. And I know that I'm meant to do big things. I do speaking engagements, and those are something that I love doing. Because, like I said, if I can like give just a little bit back to people,
Mhm.
and if it's something out of my story, then that makes it, worth it. Um, I got into this position by helping people, and I'm going to continue to help people. So I think the future is very bright.
I think so too. I believe so. You got a lot of big stuff coming up. I know you got an interview with Inside Edition coming out at some point, and some other platforms. So I'm super excited that your story is getting out there on even bigger scales because people need to hear this thing. You know,
Yeah,
you know.
I guess. I mean, why go through all of this for nothing? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I think everybody's
that's
story
a
can serve a
lot.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's important, like sharing the story. Like, yeah, is it easy? No.
No.
Like I had some guy today, he was like, what happened to you? And I'm like, um, you mean how I lost my leg? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I was in an accident. Like it still like catches me sometimes, but um when people are like genuinely wanting to know like what happened, I of course share my story because you never know how it can help someone. And that's why I like hearing other people's stories. And um I've learned a lot. And so I think that ATF really changed my outlook on a lot of things. I always knew that this accident happened for me, not to me. Um, Instead of like, oh, this bad thing happened to me, I'm like, well, this happened for me to do whatever. God chose me for this. Um, and I think it's like, it's definitely played a huge role in my mindset and helping me just be positive through this like really dark, dark experience.
It's funny that you say that because I was just having a conversation with Travis today about somebody that is struggling that is affiliated with a different organization. And I'm like, that just speaks volume with ATF and the community. What we have here is because, yes, that organization focuses on, recreational therapy in a form, in a sense, right? And you go do X, Y, and Z to get your mind right and whatnot. But I feel like a lot of these organizations don't have what we have, and that's Mo, working on the mindset, and ATF never had that. And it wasn't until we almost lost a few of our guys, one in particular, to suicide. And David and them were like, wait, we need to do something about this. So they brought in Mo to really work on the mindset on top of the working out. And that is like that little golden nugget, I feel like, that really sets ATF apart from a lot of good, worthy organizations. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the missing piece that could benefit so many organizations out there if they can have that one little mindset focus on top of what they already do.
For sure. It's definitely like a very special piece of the sauce that ATF has, like that good sauce that they got going. Definitely very impactful. Like the breath work we do, and Mo is incredible. Like so much of what he says, I'm always like trying to like write it down in my brain, like put it in my memory bank, because I'm like, I can use that. And I do. Like I use what I've learned from him all the time. And I wish people could go through just that little part. Like forget the working out in the gym. Like that part is crucial if you're trying to better yourself, because you do have to change how you think. You do have to change how you speak to yourself. You do have to change your habits. If you want a better life, you have to work for it. And Mo definitely gives you the tools to do that, for sure.
I love it.
I feel like I quote him often. And I'm like, Mo would be so proud of me.
Mama. We used to call him Mama Mo because he would cook for us when I went through. Yeah, Mo would cook for us. They would get food here and there, but he would usually cook for us, and we started calling him Mama Mo.
Okay. That's hilarious.
He can cook.
Yeah. Well, cooks a lot of meat, and I don't eat meat, so.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know what he would cook for me, but that's funny.
He probably cooks some veggies. Mama Mo. We used to call him that.
I love that. Oh my God.
Well, it's wild that you're saying this too, because like everything you say that you're saying lines up. I guess more so now in this episode because there's a class going on, right? So I'm seeing it. Even today, there was a class today, and our athlete Jake, poor guy, man, he was puking like his entire workout Friday, like just nonstop. I put his name on a puke bucket, like he was.
Oh my God!
But he was literally purging. Like he was finally opening up to me and Travis.
Oh,
and he would start talking about stuff, and he would puke and talk and puke, and this was going on for like 45 minutes. I'm like, this is insane. I've never seen this.
Oh my God.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff he literally had shoved down emotionally and just was angry. It was coming up.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, dude,
come out.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna purge one of three ways here. You're either gonna sweat it out, you're gonna puke it out, or you're gonna cry it out.
Yeah.
And, he freaking puked. And then, again, all day Monday, we're like, all right, what's going on, dude? So, come to find out, he was just taking pre-workout on an empty stomach, and that was really bothering him. But he didn't puke Wednesday or today, so freaking huge win.
Oh, my God. So, here, a T-shirt.
I think he earned enough shirts for, like, 2 classes. I'm dead serious.
So
I know, and you guys...
Why do you always get the puker? I am not a puker. I didn't puke once.
I'm not a sympathy puker, like, at all. And I'm still not... But it's like you're sitting there watching him because you feel bad for the guy. And you're just like, are you done yet? Like, how, what? And then he would work out and he would toss his cookies. I'm like, well, it's one of those days, I
Yeah.
guess. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
You can't out on it. You first off, you shouldn't be doing pre-workout like according to Mo.
yeah.
Uh, Second off, ew,
Yeah.
ew.
But, today he had one of the biggest wins and
Oh,
we were so proud of
good.
him. He's doing
I love that.
so good, yeah. So,
Oh, I
so
love it. I love watching the classes and following the athletes. Like, I worked a lot with Michaela from the last class.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, like talk about such a story, but she's such a little rock star. Like, oh my God, she has grit. Like, that's
Yeah.
definitely something like I've come to learn I have a lot of, and not everyone has it. And
Ugh.
she freaking
Were you there when she army crawled the entire length of the turf?
so sad I was not there.
Oh my god. So Michaela, yeah. I'm hoping to get her on the show. Um
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. Freaking quadriplegic, man. Army crawled over 30 yards, took her 19 minutes to ring up one bell,
my God,
and she
she's
did it.
bleeding, and it
She
was
did it.
just yeah. The videos are
Oh man.
incredible.
9
Oh
million views.
man, but yeah, I know, she's famous. Um, but
Yeah.
it shows
She's a
you
rock
like
star.
people want to see what's going on in that gym and people need to see it.
Hmm.
Like there's like that with everyone throughout the entire 9 weeks. Like there's so many things that
Moments.
every or comes and like all these like triumphant moments. And it's like such a place of hope and inspiration and like possibility, you know, like I never thought I would now be training for the Paralympics. Like
Mm.
I was never an Olympian when I was an able-bodied person, but now, like after going through these classes at ATF, here I am training for the Paralympics. Like anything is freaking possible. Anything.
I love it. And from the sponsors to the partners and the
Yeah.
donors, I mean, it all comes together for the greater good, and that's to give people like you and me these opportunities.
Huh?
And it blows my mind, man. It blows my mind.
Yeah. The community is incredible.
Yeah. Well, I am hoping, shh, oh, hush, uh, to take my podcast out of my house and into David's office at the gym. We're
Yes.
working on that. Hopefully, we can get that going. That way, I can get people out of my living room and we can get a good background and look more professional over here.
I love it. No, it's amazing. Like you have your guitars on the wall, you got your flag over there. I love it.
It's
You're
totally
not.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like I want people out of my space. So, and we got to do more.
Okay.
We got to do in-person interviews, and so that's the goal. So hopefully, the
Yeah.
next few we can get some in-person.
Ooh, that's awesome. See, look at you. You're getting
Growing up.
big. Yes. Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Well, and back to it, like ATF just gives us those opportunities, and I got to say, I met your parents. Kind of getting back to your mom and your parents, they're freaking amazing. I love your parents. They're so
You're
cute.
so great. Oh my God. My dad, he was my Uber driver, like because I couldn't drive
Yeah.
after my accident. So he like drove me around everywhere. Made sure I got my donuts every morning and went to physical therapy, went to the gym. So
I
it
love
was
that.
a nice like time that I could spend with my parents. And I mean, hard obviously because like, you know, at 31 years old, your parents are like taking care of you. It's hard, but I was very fortunate and I'm super grateful that I have them and I love them dearly.
That's awesome.
They're so supportive of me,
Yeah,
which
they
is
are.
great.
Well,
Yeah.
before I let you go, which I think we're solid on time here, so thank you.
Okay.
Before I let you go,
Oh
uh,
God.
we kind of talked about this before I hit record, but Bethany was supposed to get me a question to ask you, and she never did about something that she doesn't know about you. Is that right? Or what was the
No, just like I just said, is there something yes, I guess something you want to know about my story or about whatever that you don't know.
So,
That's what I was.
so yeah. So, is there anything? Because here's the thing: you've been interviewed a lot,
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, I keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I like to, if there's like this little one little thing that nobody knows, good, bad, indifferent, funny, I don't care what it is. Is there anything that
Okay.
comes to mind that you'd love to share with us before I let you go?
Oh man. I mean, I'm so open about everything. I
And
don't
if
want it to be like a bad thing.
I mean, like,
Let
were any
me
of the nurses hot at the hospital? Or, I mean, like, I don't know. Shoot. Oh, your eyes
Okay,
just got
yeah.
big.
I like Jesus. I will say, like, I was so drugged up, Pam, like out of my mind, drugged up the entire time. And so it was like, I don't know if who knows what I said to any of them, but they all loved me. Like they adored me. Like I said when I was going over my injuries, like my face was all beaten up. Like I had road rash, I had a gash above my eye, like this was all sewn up.
Man.
Um, I looked terrible. Okay. But because I was so drugged up, I had no idea that there was anything wrong with my face. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm pageant girl Jamie in the hospital bed, like, I lost my leg, whatever, I'm still cute. No, no.
Oh, no.
My mom gave me a mirror like the second week of me being in the hospital. And I don't know what I was even doing. Like I had friends who made me this like care package basket that had all the skincare stuff in it and like spa like stuff. And so I was, gonna put some stuff on my face. And she gave me a mirror and I looked at myself, Pam, and I literally was like,
Oh, no.
Mom, why didn't you tell me I looked like this? And she goes, oh, baby, you look so much better.
Oh, no.
I was like,
Oh,
Mom,
man.
and I did have hot doctors, good looking doctors. They come in the morning like at 6 a.m. and I wake up and I'm like looking like a beat up, horrible. And so I was like, are you kidding me, Mom? I'm never going to be pretty again. She's like, yes, you will.
Oh.
And nurses are like, you look so good. It'll heal. It'll heal. So yeah, that's like
Oh, no.
probably something that I will definitely not forget because I never thought my face would heal.
Oh, my
And I thought
God.
I looked good. I even took a picture with my ICU nurse before I left the ICU. And I'm like smiling, all drugged up, thinking I look cute.
Yeah.
No, Pam,
Oh, my
no,
God.
I looked terrible.
Oh,
My left
man.
eye, the
Oh,
whole thing was
man.
blood, like bloodshot
Oh,
blood, like red blood. And I was just like,
damn.
oh my God. It was horrible. Like that was just probably like, because I thought to myself, I was like, wow, I lost a leg and my face. Great.
Oh, my God.
Great.
Oh, my God. I don't know what I would do. Oh, my God.
Uh, my mom should have warned me before she gave me
The mirror.
the mirror. Okay. Tiffany. Like the plastic surgeon would come in to check my head wound because my head was stapled, and he would come in to check my sutures here. And I remember him coming in one day and he was looking, and I was like, what are you even looking at my face for? And they were like, oh, you have this tiny little cut that we had to sew up. So that's all I thought was like, I just had this cut.
Oh, my
No,
God.
no, Pam,
I'm sorry.
no,
I'm sorry I even asked.
literally.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
that's probably the worst. And it's okay though. It's okay. My face is healed
Well,
almost.
you look
So
gorgeous. You look good. You look
thanks.
fantastic.
Thanks.
Yes.
Time heals. Oh my
It
God.
does. No, you look great.
Thanks, ma'am. That's what they told me as I was laying in the hospital bed. Too. You look great, Jamie. You look fine.
Well, I mean it. I really mean it this time. Even when you were sweaty and nasty, you looked fantastic. You look
Thanks.
great. Oh my God. Well, I think we're done here because now we're just jibber jabbering. But oh my God, thank you again so much for being on. It means the absolute world that you gave me your time today. So
Oh,
thank you.
no, thanks for having me on this. Like, you have awesome guests. And so I'm just appreciative that you wanted to share my story.
Of course. I love my guests. My guests are freaking rock stars, all of them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, they are.
Well, let me say goodbye to my listeners. You hang tight so we can wrap up our fun stuff. But yeah, thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Well, there you go, guys. That was Jamie Blanek, the former Miss Waco, rock star, Paralympian, whatever title you want to give her. The good titles. Go for it, man. She's amazing. But yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, dude. I am so active on Instagram. Get on Instagram, 2200 Taps, the website. We got services and all that products, stuff that we provide. And keep up with us because we got some big things coming up still. Some more cool guests that you don't want to miss. And go follow us on YouTube so we can get YouTube famous and break, over 100 followers because we need the help. But anyhow, I love you guys. Thank you, listeners, so much. And we will see you guys soon. Peace.